Welcome, my friends, to Next Level Change Success, a change conversation for leaders, project and change practitioners for today and tomorrow. My name is Therese Perez of myvirtualchangemanager.com, and I'm an experienced change and project professional and people leader with many years of experience in the industry. I love business, and I love the people side of business especially. So nothing lights me up more than seeing people use change management, project management, and strong change leadership to engage, motivate, and inspire people, and ultimately transform organisations. If you've heard about change management and have no idea of what it involves, then you're in the right place. If you know about change management, but you want to take your practices to the next level, then this is where you should be. I'm going to share the stories of my experiences, interview some fantastic people, and I'm going to explore all of the challenges and opportunities that you face in organisations right now. So please join me and let's go and have some fun. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Next Level Change Success. My name is Therese Perez and I'm the founder of myvirtualchangemanager.com. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that I am recording on Tharawal country and pay my respects to the traditional owners and custodians on the land on which I am recording. So today we're talking about accreditations. Are they worth it? And I'm going to make a somewhat controversial statement, but I think a really strong, realistic position of the fact that certifications don't equal competence. And there's a lot of narrative in the change community at the moment around this, and we're discussing that there's a lot of people who hold accreditations who actually can't do the job. And it's very, very true. A piece of paper does not mean that you have the experience, does not mean that you have the business acumen or have worked extensively in the programs that you need to be able to deliver change. And I think that this is something to consider if you're recruiting for change management resource, is making sure that you're looking at when the accreditation was achieved, how long ago that was, and how many projects or programs the person's actually delivered upon, what accreditations they hold. So whether it's an accreditation in psychology or is it an accreditation in change as such, change management and the pure discipline of that. What other accreditations does the person hold? So are there complementary ones, whether it be project management? Hopefully for those who are looking for roles, something I would say is that your resume should tell your journey, your professional journey around development and the process you've been through, because that's certainly something that people who are reviewing your resume want to look at. I know it's harder and harder nowadays because of AI and all sorts of recruitment technology that looks up keywords, etc., but important that your resume does tell that story, because it will influence those who are looking at your resume and shortlisting candidates for interviews. But let's go into where this notion or what the motivation is for people to actually do accreditations, and I'm going to share some of my story with you, because I think it is a little bit relevant around the choices I made and when in my career to go and get an accreditation. And I did it in a very similar fashion for project management as well as for change management, because I got the experience first. And for me, if you've listened to my very first episode of Next Level Change Success, I talk a little bit about my background, and my background was in marketing. So that was my graduate degree, and I worked in marketing for a number of years, then jumped into customer experience and then went through to project management. I'd been working actually even when I was in marketing. I went and did my project management, my first project management training, because that was starting to form up as a discipline. And I really enjoyed that. And marketing and the running of campaigns is very much project management. And then looking more broadly, a lot more experience in projects, and then moved on to change, used obviously my marketing background to do a lot of communication. So I was a bit of a hybrid project and change person. And then as change management really started to pick up momentum as a discipline in and of itself, went and then undertook, after those years of experience, a change management certification, did ProSci. And then I've also, since gone and done agile training, a whole range of training when it comes to different project disciplines, etc. I've kind of followed the breadcrumbs of training and learning because through curiosity, and then getting to a tipping point where I realized I really wanted to immerse myself in the discipline. And I think this is something for you to consider. If you're looking at an accreditation, the couple of things, I have done a lot of self-funded accreditations, obviously for organization because I was a contractor, but if I was in an organization, it's great benefit for organizations who are putting their people through certifications, but it should line up with the experience, and it should be just a nice stepping stone after getting experience in the discipline, performing in that discipline, and then wanting to do that, have that immersion, because they're expensive. The biggest barrier at the moment to accreditations is the cost. And in I guess what I call the old days, probably about 10 years ago, that cost might have been justified. But I think now I would take an alternative path. I would get more of a sense and take the type of course that I've actually designed for people, because I do an online course first, which gave me the sense of the discipline, gave me the tools, but gave me the coaching around how to use the tools. I think that a lot of the certifications that take place, you're actually not getting enough real world support. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of being at university within Australia. We've got the obviously university system in America and other areas. It'd probably be college or whatever that framework may be. But I think I value a hands-on pragmatic course. Some of the best courses I've done have been those which have really been authentically created by people who have implemented and completed their own discipline, so such as change. And that's what I've put together in operational change management, that course, as well as the 5 questions change plan, is just that real practical course that you could follow and that you can apply right away and start getting experience for yourself and lessons and learning. So head to myvirtualchangemanager.com. I really believe in the courses I've put together because of the hints and tips throughout that. The programs that I provide are real world. They're from experience. And when you go into an accreditation environment or a certification, you come away with almost like this sense of overwhelm. There's a lot of tools, and it is a purist model. You go back to the organization that you work for, and then you're finding that actually you kind of can't apply most of it because the maturity is not there in the organization to meet the level of thinking that you're coming back with. And then again, you might get 1 or 2 tools. Obviously, I've always said you do get gems of, those gold nuggets when you go learning, and you get to apply a few more things, and you do have your own aha moments about what people teach, yet you probably can't put into play all of the tools that you get, because if you do and you start to take people through extensive impact assessments and here's all the mapping, it doesn't mean anything to them anyway. They want planning, they want action, they want support, and they want it pretty fast. So there's not that tolerance of time for the pure discipline. And that's regardless of whether it was change management or project management or agile. The reality is if you take a purist approach after gaining an accreditation, it always fails. And I think that's where some people are coming unstuck by going and getting the certification or the accreditation too early in their career and not understanding that concept that the world and organizations is very different to what the case studies might be when you're applying the discipline to a particular case study in an accreditation. One of the reasons why I did go and get an accreditation was I knew within the employment market that by having that accreditation just gave me more credibility. And it did get to that point where how will people and recruiters distinguish between some candidates is to look at what accreditations they held. It was kind of an easy culling process. especially if you had applied the discipline or you had the change framework within your organization be part of a particular discipline, which once again, I will also hold probably a controversial view on saying I don't think it's necessary, that there is a massive investment in a change management office framework that is discipline aligned, like to a particular method, because the reality once again is that organizations don't have the time for it. If you want consistency across your change managers and how they're applying change, you could get a quite agnostic framework that anyone who has an accreditation of any sort could apply as a minimum standard, and then use their own tools that they come to the organization with to help improve that. And that is one of the things I will say about a change community that you can actually get some benefit from, is seeing each other's work, seeing the tools or the methods that people use and saying, yeah, that actually, I like that approach. I'm going to use that, or we should all use that going forward. And certainly setting up a change practice as such, which I have run in the past, has been the benefit of having such great practitioners in that practice, is you can develop some really great models for your own organization. And once again, you're not needing to rely on spending or investing or over-investing in tools and templates, because a lot of them should be quite simple and fundamentally easy for you to use. Check out my operational change management course, of course, if you're setting up a change management office and looking for some easy to use templates, minimum viable product type templates. They do exist there, and certainly you can use those, because that adds as much value to an organization as a person who is accredited and who's looking to use extensive tools. You just simply don't have the time for it when you're in the throes of trying to get up to speed on a project or program. You want to put together your change plan. Then you want to go do your high level, you've done your high level impact assessment. You need to get into your detailed impact assessment to really make sure that your change plans are robust enough, and then go through the delivery mode, making sure you've, captured your change readiness, etc. And then your lessons afterwards. These are just fundamental things. So let's just cover off accreditations. Do I think they're worth it? Yes, at a point where you want to immerse yourself in the discipline because you've made the choice to really upskill in that discipline. Do I think that if I was to debate about experience versus accreditation, well, I think at some point getting an accreditation shows the willingness you have to invest into the discipline and also in with yourself. Do I think that certain accreditations, do I think a psychology accreditation lends itself to change? Probably not, in my view. I think that change management in a program environment is something that ProSci and COTA deliver well. And there are other accreditations, like the change management certification, for example. Like, those are the ones that tend to be better in the accreditation space. I would, though, if you're just at the start of your journey, if you're starting to consider change, if you're in a partnership area, so if you're in human resources, if you're in communications, even if you're a project manager and you're listening to this, I would recommend that you check out myvirtualchangemanager.com and the courses we have, because I think they're a light touch investment for you to see if you're looking to immerse yourself. And also what I will say is that, because I think this is a final point to note, if you're a people person, that isn't enough for you to be a change person. Change management isn't just about being a people person, being able to talk with people, that you care about people. I think that's definitely a trait that is good. And obviously at My Virtual Change Manager, we highly value people, which is why we do what we do. But it's also the blend of having a strong business acumen, understanding processes, having that logical part of the brain working, as well as the EQ side. It's all about balance. The unicorns that are in change, so the best change managers and the best performers are those that have strong interpersonal skills, strong strategic thinking, as well as operational thinking, and being able to be a hands-on deliverer is really necessary, because oftentimes you are in a program environment. And I have seen people who are strong in the influencer side who really struggle in the world of change, because the need to deliver is extremely strong, and it's a pressure cooker in a program or project, and non-delivery is just not acceptable. So it is something that you need to consider in your change journey. If you are looking to become a change practitioner, your interpersonal skills, your stakeholder management skills, as well as the ability to analyze, to distill that information into a strong change plan, implement that, and then learn from that, may not be your forte. So certainly I plead caution if you're just jumping into change because you're a people person, I care about people, I empathize with people. You want to make sure you have your eyes wide open around the other needs that you have in the change space to deliver. If you're a change analyst currently and you're thinking, oh, should I go and get my change certification? Time it in line with your experience. You will know when you hit that tipping point and when you're ready to get that accreditation and then take on more responsibility in that change analyst space. And in the meantime, as I said, come to myvirtualchangemanager.com, have a look at the courses we've got so that you get some tools and can get some experience in that space. So it's a great stepping stone. It was to bridge the gap between extensive investment, which you may not see the return on, versus continuing to build in line with your experience, I think is the key to this. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I hope it has helped for you to make some decisions in relation to possible journeys in the accreditation sphere. As I said, certifications don't mean competency, and it's important that you know that and understand that and have confidence in your ability to deliver and your own competency before you get a certification is what I would recommend. I hope you have a wonderful day today. Come and visit us at myvirtualchangemanager.com or leave a review. If you're listening to Next Level Change Success, please leave a review. It's the only way people will find this podcast. And I hope you come back, listen to more hints and tips, and continue on your change journey. Have a great day.